it was called Sunlight into Wine, and subsequently to that was his thesis on the big vine theory. And I wrote him, and I was 4 years into the trade, and I thought I was the wise, so I wrote him a note, and I told him I think he's wrong. You know? And I made like this whole thing where I said this and this and this. And today, 20 years later, literally 3 years ago, I wrote him an apology because he was right. Of course, he was right. But so what we've done with global warming, with the climate extremes, you can see this vineyard, the vines are planted very sparsely. So we plant 2.8 by 2.8. So instead of having 3,300 vines a hectare now, we've got only 1,350.
So what you do? 2.8. What's the normal?
The norm in South Africa, there's no norm, but the norm in South Africa is 3,333. So this is a third of the norm.
Sure.
I mean, in that mountain we've got vines that's planted 10,000 vines to the hectare. And so what we're doing with all of this is we're trying to give more reserve to each plant, because the reserves is less. And what we've come to realize is people build big dams and then they pump the water to the plants. So we build dams for water that we don't have, and we pump it with electricity that most certainly we don't have either. To a lot of vines that we're trying to sustain in an unsustainable fashion. So it's better to give a plant more soil and then try and capture as much rain into, because this is a dam.
Yeah.
So give a greater catchment area for every plant and capture as much rain per vine unit, and then you can do that with the nutrients and the foods and the cover crops and all of that. So you're just creating bigger reserves.
The dam, and
you cut out the dam, and you cut out the electricity and the poles and all of that, and you work with something like this that's a much more holistic approach to viticulture, and in conjunction to that,
your prices have to go up. The thing is, your prices have to go up.
It can, but in the end, if people stop drinking your wine, that's also not sustainable. So it's the balance of all, you know, not in any, but you know, this cover crop was a 18 seed mix that we managed to grow dryland to this height. We've rolled it flat like that and like that. So we're keeping solar radiation off the soil.
Yeah.
Look in there, it's still moist.
Yeah.
So we're keeping solar radiation of the soil. We keep the wind and the evapotranspiration off, and you're giving more reserves to every plant. When you trellis, you basically increase your canopy. And what do you put up like that? Solar panels. But when you do that with a vine, it means you attract more sun. When you attract more sun, you need more water, and you need more food. So why capture more energy if you can't use it? And with this, you have basically reduced energy system. Now, bush vines is been forever the answer.